Now, as the Trump administration met with Ukrainian leaders in Saudi Arabia today, they're discussing a potential truce with Russia. And for the latest on these ceasefire talks, we're joined now by foreign affairs analyst Harley Lippman. Harley, so happy to have you with us. Thank you for joining. Now, the U.S. and Ukraine
My
officials
pleasure.
held peace talks in Saudi Arabia today. President Trump said that during a cabinet meeting today that the two countries are close to signing a deal that could supply the U.S. with Ukrainian rare earths. Let's watch.
The agreement on rare earths is just about completed. They'll sign it shortly. So it's, as you know, Europe is in for a very small fraction of what we're in for. It affects them much more than it affects us. Again, they are in as a loan, which nobody knew until I came along. Europe is giving the money to Ukraine as a loan. We were just pouring money into Ukraine. It was a very unfair situation.
Harley, can you break down for us here, what does President Trump mean by giving aid to Ukraine as a loan, Europe giving aid to Ukraine as a loan?
Europe has been helping Ukraine by giving them money and military supplies, but it's been in the form of a loan, meaning you have to pay it back. And the United States has not been giving Ukraine money as a loan. We've been giving Ukraine money to survive. And we've mostly been giving Ukraine really military equipment. That's really what it's been. But it has not been as a loan. So from President Trump's perspective, he feels that given Europe is the one that should pay the larger burden because it's in their backyard, they should be the ones to be paying the bigger price. And a loan is better because it presumably will be paid back, but the United States is just giving the money that will not be paid back. So President Trump feels that America, which has less of a vested interest in deterring Russia and Europe, is getting the short end of the stick. And so based on that, he's redoing what he feels is in America's best interest now.
And Harley, for the U.S., how important is this minerals deal if it goes through?
It's very important. It really is. I mean, this is something that nobody talked about. When Russia went into Ukraine, nobody talked about how rich they are in minerals, things that are very rare in the world that are essential and very important for the United States in our defense industry, even in healthcare. So it's vital to the West and the United States. And what President Trump is doing, which he's famous for, is trying to negotiate a better deal with the United States. So he's saying, well, we gave billions and billions of dollars, hundreds of billions of dollars to Ukraine. We could get it back with a deal where the United States keeps 50% of what is going to be worked out in terms of money or profits back to the United States. So it will repay the United States for its investment in defending Ukraine.
And now, Harley, I want to get your thoughts on a potential ceasefire deal in the Black Sea. Last week, Russia and Ukraine agreed to a temporary ceasefire on energy infrastructure. The State Department today confirmed that a potential Black Sea ceasefire could be in the works. Let's roll that clip.
We do have negotiating teams, of course. They're meeting in Saudi Arabia to discuss broadening the ceasefire to the Black Sea on the way to the full ceasefire, which is always the prize. That's the prize right now. There's no other prize. To fully restore peaceful commercial activity. The Black Sea, of course, is key to that.
So, Harley, first, what would be the impact of a ceasefire in the Black Sea? And then also, why is the ceasefire being negotiated in stages rather than just an all-out immediate ceasefire?
I'll start with your last comment. I think it's very difficult to bring about a complete ending of the war now. I think the Trump administration has decided, let's build it based on meeting milestones, getting certain concessions from both sides. It appears right now that Trump seems to be getting more concessions from Ukraine, not Russia. But this may be just part of his broader strategy. So we have to wait and see, because he needs to apply equal pressure on Russia. After all, they're the ones that did start the war and did invade Ukraine. But that said, I think it's likely that Trump's going to pull this off, which is going to be brilliant on his part. He will be seen as a master diplomat for peace, to be able to end a 3-year conflict that has taken millions of lives, either killed, wounded, or displaced. It has destroyed economies of 2 nations. Terrible things have happened in this war, terrible atrocities. So the fact that President Trump is making progress really speaks to that his strategy appears to be working. So there are people who are very suspicious and critical of President Trump. I would urge them to be patient. Even if you want to be cynical, there is a method behind the madness. If nothing else, the fact that NATO nations are now paying more money for their defense is a great achievement by President Trump, no matter who you look at, no matter who looks at it, no matter how you analyze it. NATO is underpaying their fair share because they knew the United States was paying the lion's share. So they were supposed to pay at least 2% of their GDP for defense. They've been paying under that. So that's a big accomplishment, and President Trump has already done a lot of good by achieving that so far.
Right now, Harley, I want to get your thoughts on the Middle East, but we have a little bit less than a minute now. So Israel and Hamas, they just killed. Israel confirmed that they killed a Hamas terrorist, a senior Hamas terrorist in Gaza over the weekend. But we're not seeing any major response from Hamas. Are they losing the ability to fight back?
Yeah, they've been devastated. I think they could still come back. They are resilient. It's like Hezbollah in Lebanon. It's like Iran. They've all been attacked by Israel. The Houthis in Yemen been attacked by Israel and the United States. All these nations are out to hurt innocent people and take over other countries' populations, which makes them imperialist, colonialist powers, starting with Iran. They were in Syria, they were in Lebanon. So what President Trump is doing with Israel is pushing back on them. And to your good question, yes, Hamas is dramatically weakened, but they're not defeated. And the only way you're going to have peace is by having closure. The only way you're going to have closure is one side has to lose and cry uncle. And that's how wars are resolved. So hopefully Hamas surrenders and gives up. This will stop the fighting in Gaza, and it'll be better for everybody.
Harley Lippman, thank you very much for sharing your insights. Really appreciate it.